when everyone is talking about Monterey Park, which we all know is going to hit the wayside in 2 minutes flat because it was an older Asian man who shot up other Asians, it doesn't sell. It's not juicy. It's not juicy enough. Yeah. What people don't want to talk about is the reason why mass shootings happen all the time is because society is breaking down. People are giving up. They do not care anymore. It's like, hey, my life's fucked anyway, so let's just take a few people with us while we're at it.
Can we talk about what my solution was? We talked about earlier about the gun thing, because the problem isn't guns.
You're not going to like this one.
No, I don't care. I don't care. Because what is the one thing that is consistent with all of these shootings? All of them. What is the one thing that is the same?
All right, you got me.
Well, they're all men. So the problem isn't guns. The problem is men.
I've been saying we got to get rid of men since I was born.
And so what I'm saying is, no, seriously, because if we kept all the guns that we have, the amount of guns, but the men were all gone, we wouldn't have the shootings. That's how I know it's not a gun problem. So I find it very interesting that that's what they want to focus on. We have a very toxic, miserable, desperate culture of people.
God got it.
Exactly. Thank you. And it's like this toxicity, and I hate using the term toxic masculinity because it sounds so like cheesy PC, but we are a very violent culture. The thing we do is produce arms and weapons. We are a war machine first and foremost. And to think that we can have that and not have it affect us here at home and with a crushing economic crisis, it's delusional. So to me, like I've been saying for a long time, unfortunately, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. I think it's going to get more and more violent. I'm not a proponent of violence, but I can just use common sense. But people are getting like, we're in like a pressure cooker. And so, but the common denominator is men. Sorry.
Well, look, not to suck up to Double K too much, but she's in the chat. I see here. She says it's all about economics. I think this whole meme of toxic masculinity is very economically related. There's a big economic component to it because men feel that they must go out and provide. They must win. There's an element of masculinity that is about conquest of the natural world. That's why all these alpha male douchebags are obsessed with the steaks that they eat and the red meat. Conquest of women, how many sex partners you've had, how often you get laid, right? Conquest of natural resources. I'm not driving no EV. I'm driving a gas guzzling car, right? It's about conquest. It's about claiming things, claiming resources, claiming other people, claiming food, claim over the natural world. And the more economic desperation sets in, the more impossible it is to claim things, right? Because you're just flailing. You're just drowning. You can't get a foothold. You can't lay your stake in the ground. You know what I mean? And so how else do you express your masculinity but in very toxic ways, like the Andrew Tate thing? Where do you think all these fucking pickup artist hucksters come out of? They come out of the fact that a lot of men feel no purpose in their lives because they're not able to live the way they've been taught men are supposed to live. And so that manifests itself in all sorts of ways. And I think you may be onto something when it comes to all these, acts of sort of these outbursts, these just like violent outbursts. That's one way I think that manifests itself. So yeah, I mean, you can call it toxic masculinity. And I know you said that you don't like using that term because it has these sort of like woke sort of connotations. And I think you're right. But I think when I think of that, that's what comes to my mind is the fact that as the society collapses around people, especially men, they feel like they are not able to function the way they are supposed to, the way they've been taught that they ought to. And that causes dysfunction. It causes mental health crises. It causes people to snap. And when they snap, they lash out in all sorts of ways, right? Against the opposite sex, if they feel they're entitled to that sort of thing. And it also can manifest itself in, yes, a lot of these horrible, violent acts. Yeah, I think there's something to that.
Keaton, we've spoken about this on the show. Maleness is a social construct.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as sex differences. Woman is whatever you say it is. There are no differences in the biology or brain chemistry of men and women. So everything you just said is completely wrong.
Right.
I'm
glad we cleared that up.
I'm finally going to step up and say I disagree, but that's me. I think that there is. I think there are some.
You think that it's women committing mass shootings?
No. Okay. I think that there are differences between men and women. I think that the
clearly
neurological.
Are you disagreeing with me, or are you disagreeing with Russell's sarcastic response to me?
Oh yeah, I was completely joking.
Hey, listen. Nowadays, I don't know. You don't know what the hell people are saying. You can't really tell.
Yeah.
There's a difference. Or you would equally see if women make up more than half the population, but men make up 100% of the mass shooters. That shows you that clearly that's what I'm saying. There is a difference.
I mean, the people that I think all of us here don't have a lot of patience for would argue that that's all socially constructed, and that's total bullshit.
Well, it's obviously not.
It's total bullshit.
No, the only thing that I would say is universal.
And whether it's socially constructed or not, it does have an impact on this generation of men.
100%.
Yeah.
And when you look back,
well, it's important to define that because your solutions are dictated by your explanations. So if you're going to say it's all socially constructed, you're going to go charging off in the wrong direction. And that is really what creates the opening for people like Andrew Tate. Because if you try to address this by problematizing maleness, guess what? You're going to end up with a generation of very angry, confused boys who are vulnerable to voices like Andrew Tate.
Well, you already have them.
Who isn't trying to shame them for being male.
Yeah, you're already here.
Yes. I'm saying that ideology created the opening for Andrew Tate. What did you think was going to happen when you tell people, no, all of your behavior as a biological sex, it's all toxic. It's all destructive to society. That is part of it, and it's related to what you're saying. As the civilization breaks down, men are lacking in positive channels for that energy, for that competitiveness, for that drive, for that fascination with things.
And they're lacking in possibility too. That's what I think the real problem is.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.